What is going on, everybody? It's Randy Paddock here, and you are listening to Bull Chat with Randy Paddock, episode not 12, 13. Episode 13, good old unlucky 13. So we are getting it rocking and a-rolling. And it's a weird Sunday night version. So if you're watching it on YouTube, the quality's probably shit because I don't know how to tape anything, and it's on a Sunday night. What's going on, though, is making sure that if you are not already on us with YouTube or subscribe to the channel, it's Bull Chat Pod is the channel. So subscribe, like stuff, comment. Also subscribe, like, and comment on iTunes. Any likes and comments and feedback we get, guys, on those things, I love it. I appreciate it very much, and it helps out a lot to help grow the podcast. So if you would, thank you very much. Why is this on a Sunday? Well, to be dead honest with you, I fucked up with time management, right? Because I got to get content out every week, right? That's my goal. I want to put one out a week, something out a week. I'm starting to put up a little bit more straight to YouTube content of little things, but obviously I got to have the podcast out once a week is my goal. So yesterday was Saturday, so it was my sister's birthday on Wednesday, and I was going to go out Saturday night back to Wakanda to hang out with her. So my day was revolving around that, so I did some running around and a bunch of stuff to do, so I knew I wasn't going to get the podcast in, and then I went out that night, so it was good. I went out, I met up with my buddy Sammy the Bull. We did a little baby Main Street Death March, about 2 stops, so we started at Lindy's, had a couple of beers, and then went to Milton's, had a couple of beers, then we went to Keefe's Reef, which I don't normally go to. That's on the other side, that's an island lake. I don't venture that way too much. We went there. There was this, my sister, like, she hangs out there, that's one of her bars, and there was this Fleetwood Mac tribute band there. So no, not a cover band, right? A tribute band. So they dress the part and really believe that they are the band, and they're called The Chain, and they're fucking awesome. But the lady, she thought she was Stevie Nicks. She's doing all this like gypsy shit and grabbing the mic and singing to it, and it was pretty fucking awesome. There was some people there though, man. I mean, there was some folks getting weird out there on the dance floor. There was this lady with these dreadlocks who looked nuts. She was like popping and locking, and she looked really possessed. And it was crazy, but it was really fun. Drank a lot of beers, stayed up till 3 in the morning getting hammered, which I don't do that often. So I woke up today not feeling 100%. Plus, I slept on my sister's couch, so my back's all fucked up. Called Uber, my love, part of the love-hate relationship. Got a ride, stopped at Main Street Tacos while I was in town because that place kicks ass. Smashed a big-ass burrito and 2 tacos, and then came home, and here I am. And I felt like shit all day, but like I said, I got to put that content out. I said I would, right? From my first podcast, I said I would do it. So, and it's a good lesson, man. Like, even if you don't want to do something, I didn't feel like doing shit today. Do it anyway. Like, push yourself to do it, right? If you don't feel like doing it, do it anyway. So that's kind of a little bit about my day today. And I've been kind of a piece of shit today, so sometimes we have those days. But it was fun. I was glad to hang out with my sister and see my buddies, so it was a good time. So before I get into stuff a little bit, I wanted to talk about today. So I remember on episode 2, which was a while back now, right? All the way back in, I believe, October. So how long we've been doing it. But I was talking about how I have the love-hate relationship with Uber drivers, how, you know, and for the hate, most of the time it's because they're always getting in the way and driving like assholes. I found worse. And worse out there is the Chicago public bus. All right? Look the fuck out when those guys are on the streets, man. They do not give a fuck about nothing. So if you're ever driving by them, get away from them. Don't stand on the side of them. Don't be behind them because they're stopping. It's been kind of nutty around here too. The roads are shit because of all this snow we've been having. And, you know, the plows just kind of leave the big snow mountains everywhere. So they're not even pulling all the way over to the bus stops. They're in the middle of the road just stopping. And then when they merge back in, they don't look. They'll run you off the road. They don't give a shit. So you got to be careful out there. But that's my new group of people. Holy shit, and watch the fuck out. And I do not like, because they don't care. They're out there Mad Maxing it. Like, they know they got the big rig, so they'll take you out. So be careful. Watch your ass, right? And if you are a Chicago bus driver, don't be a dick, man. It ain't that hard, all right? So that's just my 2 cents on it. Also, I'm feeling very good. Olympics are rocking and rolling. My patriotism is flying high, as always. It's kind of funny, man, watching watching like when people watch the Olympics or anything that's every now and then in America here too with like the World Cup, everyone becomes an expert about said event. So I was sitting at the bar last night having some beers and like skiing is the type of skiing. I don't know what the hell it's called, just ski jumping, I guess, when they go hauling ass down the big hill and then go flying and they kind of like lay upright and go flying through the air. So there's actually like a kid from my hometown like in the Olympics and like another one from the area or something in that event. I don't know who they are, but it's kind of cool. Anyhow, so I was like watching these people and so that event's happening and this guy like landed one of the ladies like, oh yes, that's and she started talking about some shit like she knew what the fuck. I'm like, there's no way, lady, you know what the hell that this is about, right? Like there's that other winter event. I don't know what the hell it's called, but it's like I don't even know how the hell it's a sport or who thought of it. But what they do is they do like cross country skiing. Then they got a little rifle on their back. Then they pull it out and they got to shoot some stuff. Then they ski some more and then shoot some more. And these guys are like, oh well, you see here what you got. Shut the fuck up. There's no way. You know that, right? It's the same thing like I said when the World Cup comes around. Everyone's a huge football. You'll say, hey, put on the soccer game, and then you'll have that asshole at the bar. No, it's football, sir. Okay? Do you want to put on the football game? It's the World Cup. Show some goddamn respect, right? Shut the fuck up, but I'm telling you, man, keep an eye out for it. We got experts coming up, but nonetheless, they're showing their patriotism and loving America, and we're starting to rack up some medals here. We got my favorite shit coming on, right? I love the speed skate, and we got that 17-year-old girl that's like awesome. We got the hockey. We'll probably get our ass whooped in there. We got luge. Watching luge. We got a silver. I believe in that. That was the first or the highest we've ever medaled. An American did. That shit's crazy to watch. Bobsledding and then figure skating, man. It all goes back to the price of gold. Tanya Harding, man. You know, in '94, doing it right. Kneecap motherfuckers the American way. So love that the Olympics is going on as well. And then Cubs are making some moves, picking up some talent. Right? Getting some new pitchers. You know what I'm talking about, Chicago? So things are looking good. The Blackhawks fucking suck. Probably won't make the playoffs. All right. So let's get into what I want to talk about today. And today I was going to talk about something that I think a lot of people do in life in a lot of different ways. And I was talking a little bit more today about a more significant way, and that's changing things. Just making a change, right? And change it up. So I feel the best way to talk with you guys is just talk about my personal experiences about stuff as I always do. You know, that's really the purpose of this podcast. I'm really, as I'm going along, trying to figure it out. I don't know what the hell it's going to turn into or who the fuck my audience is. My audience is every human being on planet Earth, man. And my intention is to talk about my interests and talk about my view on life and how I handle things. And if you find something that helps or that you can use, you can pick it up. If you find something that you don't help or doesn't use or you think I'm an idiot, then fucking leave it alone. I don't give a shit either way. But that's what I want to talk about. And the more candid I could be, I feel the better it is. And knowing people, you're not alone out there in a lot of these feelings. At least your boy feels that way too about certain things. So significant changes and change it up. So for me, you know, obviously a lot of changes have been happening in my life and as they happen in other people's, but there's two big ones that come out. So one, I'm just kind of getting out there more. So I'm trying to grow this podcast more and influence more. So it's putting a lot more out on the internet. So this is kind of funny. Like that's just a change I'm making. So putting more stuff up about fitness, which I'm getting into, more, you know, this content, just kind of put myself out there. So that's a change. And the other big one I'm doing is in my job, you know, in my career. I'm changing career paths at 33 years old. I'm changing it up. You know, I'm going from, you know, direct sales and marketing, you know, which I've been doing and building business, and I'm moving on into a different industry, right? And it's cool. And I want to talk a little bit about that today with all of you guys, or if I was still living back in Raleigh, all of y'all. All right, so the first thing about big changes and these changes is that they're scary. All right, so I'll start with the putting yourself out there one more. And this doesn't have to be, so I'm specifically talking about putting myself out there more online and as a presence in the interwebs, but it could be putting yourself out there for a person in a relationship or a friendship or anything. Putting yourself out there is scary, right? That's it. Like it gets scary because once it's out there, it can't come back. All the dumb shit I said when I look at it 20 years ago when I'm ranting about some bullshit that's still stuck on the internet, like it can't go back, right? Like pictures and all that shit. I don't even know how the internet works. Even if you delete it, it's probably still there, right? But it's scary putting yourself out there, because once you put yourself out there, you're exposing yourself, right? And what you're exposing is, we all have like face, right? Like we want to save face, and you're putting yourself out there, and there's going to be criticism, both good and bad. So you could puff up your chest or it could break your fucking heart, but it's scary either way, and you don't really know. And then obviously in changing a career, that's scary, especially going into something that you don't know. Like it's a new industry. If you're going to a new industry or something new, but like the thing about like what makes it so scary is that it's uncomfortable. So I want to talk a little about comfort zones, right? We all have them, and we all live a lot of our lives in them, and that's why a lot of people aren't as happy as they could be, in this humble, awesome bearded man's opinion, right? Like, the fact of the matter is, like, living in a comfort zone is how you're living with one foot in the grave. Like, you're not going to be able to get fully what you want out of life. And you're probably going to end up resenting people, because you're going to be in places that you don't like, maybe relationships that you're not into that long or anymore, and you're just because it's comfortable, like, and you want to stay together, right? So how to get out of comfort zones. So why don't we? Well, one, we don't get out of comfort zones because it's scary and it's uncomfortable, right? And again, we want to be good at stuff. We want to look good on things. Like, we want to show confidence. We want to show that we know what we're doing. So that's in stuff we're comfortable in, right? I'm not awesome at basketball, so I wouldn't be comfortable going and playing a pickup game at a rec center, right? I'd get my ass kicked. But I would be comfortable going down to the local grade school and playing the fifth graders, so I could probably whoop their ass, Billy Madison style. But really, what's that going to get me? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I going to get any better at basketball? Nah, I'll probably get arrested for hanging out with kids and talking shit to them, right? So only good things come out of growing your comfort zone, right? It's making you better, stronger, faster, smarter. The more things you can do that you don't understand and you can learn about or fail from and learn from and add to your repertoire, the better you're going to be. The best version of yourself you're going to be. So you got to break them. And then if you got to be okay with fumbling along the way, and there's going to be a learning curve probably in anything that you do that's new, and that's okay if you have the right mindset. If the mindset is to learn, and your mindset is the process and progress over perfection and step by step and getting it better, then it's okay. Like, the slip ups are going to happen. If you commit to something, you got to know there's going to be some slip ups along the way, right? But a lot of people stay comfortable because they're too scared to do things. So they stay in a job that they don't like or doesn't get them excited anymore. They might stay with someone they don't love anymore for the kids or whatever. Or they might not move ever because this is where I'm supposed to live or where my family lives. Or they might not open that business that they want to because, I don't know, I got bills, right? Like, it's all this scary stuff. So we're comfortable doing this, but if we're not growing, we're not expanding, we're not adding new weapons to our arsenal, what are we doing? We're wasting fucking time, man. And we only got X amount of time on planet Earth, and we got to make it awesome. How do we do that? We got to make ourselves better, more experiences. We got to be smarter. We got to be stronger. We got to be faster. We got to be better. How do we do that? We have to do things we've never done before. What does that mean? We got to get out of our comfort zone. So maybe I'm going to ask that girl out I wouldn't normally ask out. Maybe I'm going to go to that YMCA and jump in that fucking pickup game I wouldn't, right? Maybe I'm going to put more stuff out on the internet knowing very well people could write, "You're a douchebag," right? Who the fuck cares? I don't know. It's all part of learning. Great. Don't put that up. A lot of people think I'm a douchebag. Note to self. Luckily, I'm not, but you never know. Right? So same thing, like, if I'm not happy or excited or pumped about my career anymore, I got to change it up, even though that's scary because I've been doing the same thing for 8 years. But I had to get out of my comfort zone to get into my business in the first place, right? I went to school for sociology, so business wasn't on my mind. I didn't want to suit up and put on a tie every day and go do business, right? I wanted to work with people. I wanted to help. I wanted to study groups and do things like that, but I didn't. I got into sales and marketing. Right? I had zero experience in sales and marketing. The only sales experience I had was slanging chocolate bars for Wildcats football or Lakes Youth Athletic Association baseball, and maybe some popcorn out in front of fucking Amsteads in the early 90s for the Cub Scouts, right? I didn't have any other experience, right? But I learned, and then I got really excited about it, and I liked it, and I made it a career for 8 years, and I got to learn how to train people and develop people and how to grow businesses and take on new clients. It was fucking awesome. So now I got this great repertoire of things, and all these things added into my arsenal that I want to unleash on new opportunities and new business ventures that I want to get into and growing my brand and growing my podcast, do these things. And now it's not scary. It's fucking awesome and it's exciting. And my eyes got really big if you're watching this on YouTube because I'm pumped and I hope you feel it. And that's how you should feel about opportunities and things. Right? So, I think that you just got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, man. It's like one of the things in jiu-jitsu, right? It's very uncomfortable to have people laying on top of you and crushing you and grinding on you. Like, it's hard to breathe, right? And then it's also where there's just sweaty humans laying on you and grinding you. And the next thing you know, your arm's up. But like that's what the fight is. That's what it is. So you got to get comfortable with being able to chill out with a big old sweaty man rolling around on you trying to choke the life out of you, right? It's fun. That big old fat sweaty man is life, right? So you got to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And then you got to get after it, okay? So once you're okay getting out of comfort zones, you got to do stuff. You got to get going. You got to get after it. So let me give you for instance. So with this stuff, like I got to get after it. So now I'm becoming like a student. I just read this book here, Crushing It by Gary Vee. You should read that book, man. It's fucking awesome. That dude's the shit. That book's awesome. But here's what it goes. I'm getting after it in terms of I want to build my podcast. I want to build the brand, right? So now I'm becoming a student to all the different social media, and it's hilarious because I suck at it and I'm not good at it. So it's very humbling for me, but I'm learning, how to grow it and interact and do better on Twitter, which is like old as fuck, but I never got into it. So I'm learning that. Instagram, right? I just started a Facebook page for the podcast. So hey, subscribe and like it if you're not into it. Like it and follow it, right? I'm learning about YouTube. I'm learning about podcasting, like how to grow, how to get the word out, how to influence, how to interact. And it's really fun for me. I like reading every morning. I'm drinking my coffee, I'm reading, and I'm going on and I'm teaching myself this. So I'm getting after it that way. And then, like, I believe you have to put timelines on things. So I was reading in Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek, which is another really good book. He was talking about like timelines, and he was talking about he was in college, and he had a term paper due where he had to like follow this business around, interview all these people. Anyways, the business pulled out like a day or so before before it was due. So he went to this professor, and he told the professor like, hey, I need like kind of a continuance, I need an extension. And the professor's like, nah, you'll figure it out or whatever. So in a day, he found a new company, did all the work, wrote the paper, and like got one of the best papers. He didn't sleep, but he did what was needed to be done and got like his best grade on it ever. And the point is, if there's timelines on stuff, you're going to be able to get it done, right? So let me kind of give you another example. I'm a procrastinator. All my friends were in school for the most part. I'm sure you have been too in your life at some point in time. So you ever know when you had a project for like 4 weeks and then it's due tomorrow? What do? That night you fucking smash the whole thing out and get it done, right? So it was probably better for the teacher to say, hey, you have 1 day to do this project as opposed to 6 weeks because you got it all done in the 1 day anyways. So if you give yourself a timeline that's more crunched, you're going to be able to be more effective at getting stuff done as opposed to kind of putting it off. So for me, I knew I needed a timeline. So luckily the girl I work with is awesome and she's a friend of mine. So we talked and discussed my moves and we put a timeline on something. 5-0, Chi-Town, baby. And we put a timeline on it, and then that way I knew, all right, at this day, Randy, I love you. High five, you're fucking awesome. You don't have a job anymore. So that meant that I don't have income coming in anymore. There's no cash coming in. So if I don't have a job and no cash coming in, and I don't have a job, no cash coming in, I don't have any cash coming in, right? And I got bills and shit, right? So it kind of put that timeline on where I had to get after going out and looking to find a job, right? So I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to put a resume together. I haven't had to do that in 8 years, so I had to get good and do that really quick. And then I wanted to actively pursue finding my new opportunity because I knew the specific business type I want to get into, the industry I want to get into. I just didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be passive. You got to be aggressive at your goals. Whatever your goals are, you have to be aggressive and you have to be going after it, right? You can't be passive. So I just didn't want to put a resume out onto, a bunch of databases and hope some calls would come. I was actively looking, and the cool thing is we're in the day and age that there's so much, so many different avenues where you can look at stuff. So I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Indeed, right? I'm on, Monster, whatever. I'm on all this shit looking for stuff. And I actually found an opportunity that worked out well. It's in the industry that I want to get into. It pays well, and it gives me a chance to do what I love, and that's training, developing people, and coaching a team. And I found it, within a couple of days. So these opportunities are out there, but you got to open your eyes and you got to find these opportunities. You can't wait for someone to call you and say, hey, here's an opportunity, motherfucker. You got to go after it. You got to get it. You got to look for it. And you got to find it. And then you got to know it's right. And then you grab it, right? So you got to get after it. You got to just start going. Okay? And then you got to do it now. Just like Snickers says, and I think they're onto something. Hungry? Why wait? Right? So if you want to do something, why would you wait? Right? If I'm like, man, I really want to get in some good shape, why would you wait? Don't even start tomorrow. Start today. If it clicks in my subconscious brain and then goes into my conscious brain, I'm like, I want to get in better shape. Right then, I should go outside and take a walk. Or I should drop and do 20 push-ups. Or I should drink some water instead of a soda pop. But why wait? Start doing it now. So if you ever get a feeling or a thought about something, you should act on it. Right? Think it through. Weigh the pros and cons, do the worst case scenario, and if you find out that the worst case scenario ain't that bad and it's something feasible, you need to act on it. You need to start doing to figure it out. Thinking doesn't figure stuff out, actions do, right? You can have a great plan, but everyone's got a plan until they're punched in the face, right? That's what Mike Tyson said. So you gotta start doing it now to figure out if that's the right course of action, and if it is, start failing fast so you can correct the course of action to get some shit done faster. Okay? Because it's not too late, man. It ain't too late. It's not too late. Right? And it's funny. I joke around, and it's true to an extent. I'm getting older, but I'm only 33. I got a lot of years left on this planet. Also, if you're 43, 53, 63, 73, we might be pushing 83. Maybe not so much. But you got a lot of years left on your planet. You got a lot of time left on this planet, especially with technology and science and medicine. Motherfuckers are going to be living longer, so, it ain't too late. It's not too late. Hey, that girl you really like that's got a boyfriend, ask her out anyway. She ain't married yet. It's not too late. Right? You want to change up your jobs when you're 33 years old and start a new industry? Do it. It's not too late. You want to open up that new business? Do it. It's not too late. Even if you're a 55-year-old man, great. Do it. It's not too late. Right? You want to get in the best shape of your life? You're 40? Do it. It's not too late. And I think sometimes we put these restrictions in our brain that, now I got the kid, now I got the mortgage, now I got a bum knee. It's all bullshit. It's all excuses. It's not too late to do things. If you put your mind something and you think it through and you commit to the work and get after it, it's getting done. I think so. Okay, so remember that. If not now, when? When are we going to do it? If not now, when? Because there's never a good time. People are always waiting for that good time. Well, the time's just not right. The time's not right. Spoiler alert. The time ain't never right. Right? Life's what happens when we're busy planning shit. So there's never going to be a good time. All that saying is that when we say that the timing's not right, it's just an excuse. That's all it is. It's some bullshit excuse. And like my old football coach, Mr. Porton, used to say, and a million other people, excuses are like assholes. Everyone's got them and they all stink. And like my dad would say on his t-shirt, if assholes could fly, this place would be an airport. Bottom line is that it's all stuff that's put in our head, man. It ain't ever going to be a perfect time. So there's always a reason. There's always a reason to do it, right? I'm going to start working out tomorrow. Oh, fuck. I was going to run, but it's raining out. I'll go the day after. It snowed. I'll go again. And then it never happens and I never go running, right? So just understand that the timing's never going to be perfect. Just start going, okay? And then I think sometimes people, and I've been kind of victim of this too, is like thinking that changing a job or changing a relationship or moving or changing the scenery in some aspect is all of a sudden, going to make shit better. And I don't think that's always the case, man. Like Mike Ness says for Social Distortion, like you can run all your life and never go anywhere, and I think that's true. Like changing stuff up doesn't always help. If it for sure doesn't help if you do not change the habits. Okay? So if I'm a lazy asshole at job A and I do not change my habits of being a lazy asshole, I'm going to be a lazy asshole at job B. Okay? If I'm a piece of shit that cheats on my girlfriend in relationship A and I do not change that, I'm going to be a piece of shit that cheats on my girlfriend in relationship B. So that change of scenery did not help. Right? If I have bad financial habits living in Chicago, if I move to Miami and do not change my habits, I'm going to have money problems in Miami. right? And I think sometimes we don't wrap our head around this because we don't want to take self-accountability that, hey, we have some flaws and we have some bad habits. We want to say, oh, she pushed me away. That's why I cheated on her. Oh, my boss didn't like me. That's why I switched over here. Oh, yeah, Uncle Sam's fucking me. That's why I don't have any good money problems, right? And it's not the truth. We got to change our habits before anything can be effective. We got to be the best versions of ourselves. And we got to have that talk. And I think that's the talk like a lot of people don't want to have with themselves. And that's the real talk of, all right, Randy, all right, so-and-so, here's the deal, man. You're lazy. You don't do X, Y, and Z well. It ain't too late though. You can. Let's start creating this habit. That's why I harp on a lot of this stuff and talk about like morning routines. And it's not just me. It's all successful people. It's people I model myself after, right? Jocko Willink got me into the waking up at 4:30 in the morning just to get shit done, right? And it's setting the tone for the day. I wake up, right? I make my bed. That's done, right? I'm setting the tone. I'm creating time. When there's not a lot of time, I'm creating good habits, right? I like to eat well. That's a good habit. I go to the gym, I work out. Like people that are in shape, that eat well, that wake up early, that are reliable, like you're going to be crushing life a lot harder because you have great habits, which means you're not going to quit when stuff gets tough. You're not going to quit your job and move to another job when stuff gets tough, thinking the grass is always greener. You're not going to quit your relationship when it gets tough, thinking the grass is always greener. You're not going to miss out on opportunities thinking the grass is always greener. You're going to be knowing that, hey, it don't matter where the fuck I'm at, the grass is going to be green because I'm watering it. So remember, the change of scenery is not always going to help, but the change of habit always will. So look inside. Focus on the inside, what we can control, and notice if there's a hole in our game, and then fix the hole, and then the boat's going. It ain't sinking no more, right? And then now, hey, I'm a guy that kicks ass with money in Chicago. I'm going to be a guy that kicks ass down in Miami, and there it is. Hey, I'm a great boyfriend. It just didn't work out with this girl. I'm going to move on to the next. Oh, I love this girl. I'm a great boyfriend. Boom, I got a wife, right? Again, not really my thing, but it could happen, right? So you gotta change the habits. And what I've learned a lot, so in terms of business and I guess not only business but like leadership and things in general, I learned a lot in this last year and a half of work, and I'm very grateful for it because I got reminded of a few key things that I've lost. Anytime I've been bad in life or been bad in business, it's like correlated, right? It's a few things. So the first thing that the habit I had to change and I really learned is like, don't be full of shit, right? People get to know when you're full of shit. So if you're gonna say something, your actions got to follow it up. You can't just talk shit. You got to walk shit, right? So like, and anytime I've been like struggling with anything, it's because I'm saying I want certain things, but my actions aren't following up. So it's hard to follow someone if there's not a consistency, right? If I'm saying, man, I want to get in great shape, but I'm eating like shit, I'm not going to the gym, you wouldn't really believe that I wanted to be in great shape. I'd be like the boy who cried wolf. So it's the same thing. Anytime I had struggled in business or things weren't going well, I was saying, I want this, we're doing this, but I wouldn't be willing to do what's, as my buddy Palumba says, you got to do what's required, right? But I really wouldn't be doing what it needs to be required, So in business, sometimes what's required is 14, 15, 16-hour days of just grinding. Sometimes what's required is keeping the beers cold, the cooler full, and making sure that the grill's hot. But, you can't do the grill and the beers if what's required is the 14 to 15 and 16-hour days. So, and that was kind of where I used to fuck up from times. I would want to do that part without the grinding part, and expect other people to kind of pull their weight when I wasn't. And, it led to me have some pretty heavy struggles in business. And it's like a simple fix. Anytime I was kicking ass, it's because I was walking what I was saying. And that's what people want to follow, and that's what people believe in. So I really got reminded of that this last overtime, and it's something I'm very excited about, that I'm glad that got brought back to me and is not going to go away again. So that I learned like, I got humbled, right? And you got to get humbled, you got to be humble all the time, and you got to stay humble. We all have big egos, right? Or we all have egos, and a lot of people have big egos, and you got to remember like staying humble and learning from other people, even if you're quote unquote further along or whatever. Like, just kind of having that open mind, right? And being humble. And then the last thing is self-development. I got a big old dose of this, and I forgot how important this is. And I think a lot of us do, is you want to be the best leader. You want to be the best business person. You want to be the best dad. You want to be the best husband, wife. You want to be the best human out there. You have to develop yourself. It's just not going to just pop and do it. You have to develop yourself. So you have to read, right? Like, you have to develop your mind. So if it's reading books, if it's reading articles, right? If it's listening to podcasts, if it's watching TED Talks, it's doing stuff. But if you're the type of person that believes like you shouldn't get smarter, or that it's a waste of time to develop your mind and learn new skills and get new knowledge and just be smarter or have a better vocabulary, new words, you're a fucking idiot. I mean, there's no way around it. So you have to develop your mind. Like, you have to develop your body, right? Like, there is just benefits to working out. There is. Like, there's not an argument. I can't believe people still argue about that. Shit, you don't need to work out. Yes, you do. Here's why. 1, it makes you confident, right? 2, it creates a great habit of doing something hard and doing things when you don't want to, right? Because sometimes you don't want to work out. You don't want to go run. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to go to spin class. Whatever you do for your exercise, it doesn't matter. And that's the thing too. It does not matter. Any exercise is better than no exercise, right? It doesn't have to be something crazy. But your body's going to be running better. You're going to be a higher powered running machine, which means you're going to be more efficient. You're putting in the right fuel, which means you're going to be running top notch. You're going to be clearer. Right? Like I said, you're going to have more confidence. You're going to have better habits. You're going to have better lifespan. You're going to live longer. And I don't want to hear some skeptical asshole be like, yeah, but what if you get hit by a fucking truck? Or what if you get, who gives, shut the fuck up. Right? It helps. If you are more fit, you are going to have a better quality of life. And it's a choice, man. To make the choice. It's just a hard choice. So that's why people make excuses. But you got to develop yourself physically, and you got to develop your soul. Right? However it is, however you look at your soul, like, develop it. If it's through religion, do that. If it's through meditation, do that. If it's through nature, do that. If it's through giving back, do that. But, like, you got to remember you're a human, man. What separates us from the fucking apes, man? And it's we got a soul. We have a being inside of us, and you got to feed it, and you got to develop it. So I really learned about that. I forgot about self-development, and not like I forgot, because I don't think I forgot these things. Like, I always knew them, but I just wasn't making it a priority and having intent. And this is especially hard too if you're someone that's like selfless and you like to help. Like, sometimes you kind of put yourself on the back burner. But the best way to be the best version of yourself for anybody is to be developed. So that needs to be number one priority. Self-development, priority numero uno. Develop yourself, develop your mind, develop your body, develop your soul, and then you're going to be fucking kick-ass, and you're going to be able to be kick-ass and inspire and help everybody. Okay? So, if your mind's right, making changes is exciting, right? So that's how I look at things. Like, I'm like crazy excited. I've had a shit-eating grin on my face for a little while now, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you probably see it, like, because it is, I'm excited about new things, like, different stuff is exciting because my mind's right. I'm not fear of it. I already know I'm going to fuck stuff up. I know that it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be challenging. I know that it's going to be overwhelming. I know these things. That makes me excited because that's awesome. That means I'm going to be so much better at more stuff soon. That's cool. That's exciting, right? That's living, man. Like, I'm being Randy better. My mind's in that way, so it's easy to make a change. And that's, if it's like, fuck, you're making a change. It was scary for me to move to Raleigh, North Carolina, right? I'm an Italian-Irish kid, and all my family lives in Chicago. No one's ever left. I was the first one. That scared the shit out of me. Plus, there was 7 people following me, with their lives about an opportunity for someone who's never ran a business before. That was scary, right? But my mind was right. I was excited about taking over the fucking world and blowing shit up, and fuck, let's go, right? And so just get your mind right. And when your mind's right, stuff's not going to be scary. It's going to be excited. If you have your right mind, and you commit to doing the work, it ain't that scary, man. It's not that scary, right? Hey, I'm going to have a kid. Mama, this is hypothetical. Mom, I'm having a kid. Hey, I'm having a kid. That's scary. You know what, though? It's going to be awesome. I'm going to commit to doing the work, being the best dad, doing all the changes, doing that. That's exciting. It's not scary. I got a new job. Well, you know what? I'm going to commit to the work. I'm going to do the work. I know no matter what happens, I'm going to do the work. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do it. Right? I'm getting married. That's scary. I'm going to do the work. I'm moving to a new state. I don't know anybody. I'm going to do the work. If you can commit to doing the work, there's nothing to be scared of. Right? Nothing's done. Right? Like as long as you're breathing, you can do it all. It ain't over. It ain't too late. All you got to do is commit. Have your great habits. Get your mind right. Self-develop. If you say you're going to do some shit, back it up with those actions. And you're going to be feeling fucking awesome. Trust me, man. I'm doing it right now. It's good. So I think that's all I got about that for today, guys. You know, just I'm feeling good. I hope everyone's feeling good too. So just some housekeeping shit. I'm gonna be popping off more of this stuff. I'm trying to grow this thing. Okay, so if you want to help support the podcast, please on iTunes leave some comments. Right, the more comments, the more ratings that are good. And if you don't like it, you don't have to bullshit it. Right, put a fuck you or a bad rating. Right. But the more that goes, the more people it's going to reach out to, the bigger it's going to get. Same thing with YouTube. The more interaction that we have. And I'm going to try to interact with everybody, right? So leaving comments, leaving thumbs up, it's going to help things to grow. I'm going to be putting more stuff just on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, Bull Chat Pod, right? If you want to follow my journey of me fucking stuff up on social media, follow me on stuff, all right? So you got Randy J. Paddock on Instagram, Randy Paddock on Twitter, R. Paddock on Snapchat, Facebook, Randy Paddock. We also have the Bull Chat with Randy Paddock page, like fan page on Facebook. So follow that stuff, support it. Hit me up, bullchatpod@gmail.com, and give me ideas about stuff for a baby chat. Like I want to start working on getting guests in here, doing some stuff that I think could help. I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to figure it out. You know, I got a buddy of mine. She's a dietitian. I think I might get her on to help do some stuff. I want to see my buddy Zach, who's a psychiatrist that works with anxiety disorders. I want to see if he wants to talk about stuff because I used to suffer from that and it might be cool. And then any other people, like hit me up, engage. Let's make this shit happen. Other than that, man, I'm going to put this one in the books. Have a good one, y'all.